Well, joining me now, former jungle campmate Christine Hamilton and Westminster insider Cleo Watson, who worked with Matt Hancock in government. Christine, of course, it was going to be him. Inevitable, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, watching it last night, my overwhelming emotion was you should not be there. I didn't have any sympathy for him doing that tunnel trial. I just thought, you shouldn't be there, you shouldn't be there. I don't care. I'm not interested in how you do it. You should not be there. And what I found reassuring, actually, was the campmates' reaction to him coming in. And my favourite was Chris Moyles, who, when he went into the Bush Telegraph, he said, you know, we've got Sean in here and we've got... I think I better go and check. And he honestly couldn't believe it. But I think Matt is extremely lucky that he's got Sean with him, because he's a sort of shield and we're in this together. We're the incomers, you know, we're the latecomers, but we can support each other. But, I mean, he is absolutely horrendous. And if he thinks that he's doing himself any good... words almost fail me. As I say, my overwhelming emotion. I don't care whether he does well or badly, he shouldn't be there. And he's already upsetting so many of them. Boy George, I mean, all of them. They just can't quite believe...
That he's actually there.
That he's actually there. And, you know, what are you doing here? And he hasn't really come up with a proper explanation.
No, he hasn't. I mean,
he wants us to see him, warts and all, apparently. Well, no thanks.
Well, you know, usually, Cleo, you say to people, just be yourself.
He must not be himself under any circumstances.
Right.
Like, you can even see, you know, when you look at him talking to them or speaking directly to the camera, I'd forgotten until I watched him last night that he just doesn't really blink. He doesn't.
It's very disconcerting.
It is really disconcerting. Yes. I remember the first time I met him thinking, hello, like, what are you doing? And then I forgot that he's like that. I mean, the thing that is quite interesting to me, you know, and Christine's really hit this on the head, he shouldn't be there.
No.
And I thought his extraordinary answer to the first question he got, why are you here? He had an extremely long flight to really nail the answer to that.
Indeed.
And I actually think he would have done himself a lot of favours if he'd said, look, honestly, partly the money, and look, I need to reinvent myself. My sort of stock couldn't be lower, and I know I'm going to get picked for every challenge, and I just really, and that's still not going to be enough, but I want to try and, like, you know, do my best to be seen differently, not like the government stable and I'm bringing politics to the people.
A stupid thing to say.
Does he not know about Gavin? Well, he doesn't know about Gavin Williamson and all that. Why wasn't he honest, is really what you're saying?
Yeah.
Why wasn't he honest?
I mean, it was a politician's answer, and it was a poor politician's answer at that.
It really was. And it'll be interesting to see whether or not that actually changed.
I think things are going to get worse and worse for him as the days go by. I really do. I think the others are not going to enjoy it.
No, they're not.
And it's so challenging for them, actually.
It is hard. They don't know what to do they?
Yeah, and you could almost see this big thought bubble in all of their heads thinking, oh, my God, I need to call my agent. Because, you know, this is obviously a massive booking. And in some ways, people were thinking, oh, well, the heat's been taken off them now. He's going to be picked for every challenge. But they're going to have to, you know, they've all been, in that very British way, quite polite so far.
They have.
I think it's dangerous for them to all gang up on him. I don't think people necessarily feel sympathetic for Matt Hancock, but they won't like this sense that he's really being bullied. However, none of them will want to kind of buddy up to him either, there's this sense of they don't quite know what to do with him.
Yeah, it's also awkward, isn't it? It's awkward.
It is.
I think some of them, possibly Mike in particular, will be actually rather fed up if Hancock gets all the trials, because I think Mike has actually gone in there looking forward to. He's relishing some of these trials.
Yeah,
he's a big tough guy. He wants to do them, and he will do them really well. And he's going to be sitting time and time thinking, well, I want to do that. I want to do that.
I know.
So one way and another, he's going to... And, of course, one or two of them have serious issues with what happened to family and friends during COVID.
Absolutely.
And that is going to begin to pour out.
And my suspicion, actually, on Mike and Jill, who've actually played, like, elite sport at a really high level, they've worked in teams where, you know, you can't have a situation where the entire squad gets on. I suspect they'll handle the situation best, just because they've had to be in that environment before.
But maybe awkward team members and trying to sort of sort that out.
Exactly.
Are there any, because you have worked with them, are there any redeeming qualities as far as Matt Hancock goes that we might see?
Come on, Cleo.
Surely, something.
Well, I mean,
Surely, something.
well, I mean,
There must be
God loves
something.
a trier. I mean, there's something. The thick skin doesn't quite cover it.
Yeah.
You know how often when you're reading the newspaper, there'll be anonymous sources saying nasty things about politicians. It tells you everything about the guy, I think, that there are no anonymous sources. Everyone is on the record saying,
Right.
I think this is a bad idea, which is pretty unprecedented, I think. But, I'm sure he'll give it he's sort of very optimistic, isn't he? And I can't imagine that will necessarily win the public over, but it's certainly shaken things up. And, the bookers must be thrilled with this because it's really got everyone talking.
It has, but you have advised him in the past. You wonder who on earth advised him to do this.
I don't think anyone did. I think he just did it. Yeah.
Well,
I
presumably
don't know.
Gina Whatnot said it was a good idea. She's gone out to join him. She must think it's a good idea, and he will redeem himself. Wait till they all discover that he's a love rat. He left his wife and children, etc., etc.
Maybe she thought he should go in to give herself a break. I don't know.
Or she wanted a wee holiday in Australia. I don't know.
She's learning to surf on.
It is absolutely fascinating. But like I've said, Sean Walsh, who we know from the scandal, from Strictly and all the rest of it, he'll be delighted because all the flack has gone. He looked completely in disbelief.
He
He couldn't
handled
believe
it so well.
He just laughed. What else are you going to do?
It was such a hilarious sort of robotic response of Matt, I think, that Sean was so taken aback. He just started laughing, and you could see Matt thinking, "Oh, this guy likes to laugh. I'm just going to laugh loads." He's just in shock that this is happening and gets how ridiculous this situation is.
That was awful, that laugh-a-thon right at the beginning. It really was.
Yeah.
Sean laughing because he simply couldn't believe who he got in front of him.
He didn't know what to
and
say.
as you say, Matt doing it because he thought it was horrible.
It's very strange, but we are glued in the worst way. And Christine, it's your birthday, isn't it?
It
Happy
is.
birthday to you.
Yes.
So we thought we would get you a special cake as it is your birthday.
Has it got
We've got you
caterpillars
cake.
in it or something?
Really
And
well.
I'm not sure how you feel about this, but there we are.
Oh no!
You can eat Matt Hancock. Oh dear.
Oh,
what
my
horrible
God.
thought.
At least it's not a full body.
Do show the cake. It's got Matt Hancock.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but it had to be done. Have a lovely, lovely birthday.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy your cake. And great to see both of you. Cleo, thank you so
Thanks
much.
for having me.
And I'm a Celeb, of course, continues tonight at 9 o'clock.